Last season, if there was one identifiable problem for Allegheny, it was the infield. A lot of errors. Rick Rine said that was his biggest concern heading into this season. Had no set person at second base returning. Joe Pasta stepped in and turned out to be one of the best defensive players for Allegheny this year.
This is shortstop Matt Vinsler. First pitch to him is in there for a called strike. Nobody on, one away. Second inning. We have no score. Vinsler on the season hitting a club best .505. And he drives that one into left field. Gaeta has time, collects himself, and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Vinsler very dangerous, leading the Wooster Ball Club in hits with 39.
Number 7, the designated hitter, Matt Paul.
And he's third on the club in home runs with 3. Now with 2 outs in the second inning. Matt Palm steps to the plate for Wooster. Palm on Saturday wore the collar. He was 0 for 5. He's hitting .379 on the season. That's good for 1 home run. And the first pitch to him is inside for ball 1. Palm with 17 runs batted in. At the plate with a 1-0 count. Nobody on, 2 away here in the second inning. There's a called strike inside, 1-1. Chris Nelson getting the first 2 outs of this inning without much problem on a bounce out to second and a fly out to left field. Working for the 3 up, 3 down, and gets a called strike outside corner. Makes it 1-2 on Matt Palm. There's a look at the lanky 6'3" junior and Chris Nelson. It comes with the 1-2 curveball that's outside. Now, Steve, you hate making comparisons at this level, but at least from a vantage point view, Chris Nelson looks a lot like Ben McDonald, pitcher that went to LSU. The same type of build, and in all honesty, the same kind of mechanics. 1-2 pitch, swung on and popped up. First base line. Rine gives it a run, and a chase, falls down and is unable to make the play. So just a long strike holds the count at 2-2. But back to the comparisons for a moment with Nelson. You know, Ben McDonald, the guy as well, did not bring the ball in his windup over his head. A lanky guy, very powerful, tall, and I mean, even the way he wears and holds himself out there on the mound, very similar to Ben McDonald.
Well, Chris Nelson is, and this may not be much of a compliment really, but he's more of a great athlete, at least at this point in his career, than a great pitcher. He's a kid who played football here for 2 years, stepped in and done well now in pitching.
On the 2-2, he gets a ground ball to pass at second. He throws on to Rine for the 3 up, 3 down second inning. We have played an inning and a half. It's Wooster nothing, Allegheny nothing. You're listening and watching Allegheny College Baseball on CTV 13.
Scott Brady, Corey Brady, Dan Hunt.
Today's Allegheny baseball game is brought to you by Orthopedic Associates of Meadville, specializing in sports medicine, total joint replacement, and carpal tunnel surgery. Race Street Lumber. Visit their new design center for great ideas in doors, windows, cabinets, and floors. Weber Harris Ford Lincoln Mercury, satisfying customers for over 34 years. Oakland Beach Golf Club, an 18-hole championship layout with full-service bar and restaurant open to the public. And by Meadville Master Antenna, inviting golfers 50 and older to join us for the MMA Cable Senior Classic, August 5th.
Bring up their mics and go, Steve. Bill.
Bottom half of the second inning. We have no score here on the Allegheny College campus.
Ready to take 3. Take 3.
Nick Donatelli set to work in his second inning.
And ready to take 2. Take 2.
And who says Wrigley Field's the only area where you can watch the game from afar and still not be in the park?
Ready to take 1. Take 1.
Donatelli on the hill, set to work here in the second inning to Joe Rine. First offering is outside for ball one.
Take two.
Allegheny able to get a 2-out double in the first inning, but that was squandered. Donatelli's 1-0. Outside corner for called strike is 1-1.
Joe Rine, really the closest thing Allegheny has to a pure power hitter. He leads this team right now with 8 home runs.
The 1-1 pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 1-2. And as Steve just brought out, 8 home runs on the season for Rine, who's hitting .387. He's also driven in 35 runs. The 1-2 from Donatelli is swung on. It's skied into left. Tomlinson with a day and a half to make the play, and finally does for out number 1. I'd like to thank the staff of CTV 13. Doing a great job of providing you the pictures this afternoon of Allegheny College baseball. In the second inning, 1 gone for the Gators. We have no score. As Wooster strolls in. Came in 19-7-1 before yesterday. That was when they were swept by the Gators. Looking to extract some revenge this afternoon as Chuck Hardaby steps up with nobody on, 1 away. Second inning. There's a called strike outside corner, and quickly Donatelli goes 0-2 on Chuck Hardaby, the Allegheny shortstop. Donatelli's 0-2, swung on and missed for strike 3. So 3 quick strikes on Chuck Hardaby. And already for Nick Donatelli, his 3rd strikeout on the afternoon. So with nobody on, 2 away, that brings Joe Pass to the plate. 5'11" junior. On the season, hitting a more than respectable .427 out of the 7th slot. He sends that one to deep center field. Going back on the ball is Gladys. He's near the track, and he pulls in the ball for the 3rd out. So Allegheny goes 3 up, 3 down in their second inning. We've played 2. It's Wooster nothing, Allegheny nothing. You're watching Allegheny College baseball on CTV 13.
Today's game is brought to you by PNC Bank, proud to sponsor today's game and wishing the Gators best of luck. Alltel, the right people, the right company, keeping you in touch. Griffin Motors, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle, serving Crawford County for over 70 years. The whole darn thing sub shops of Meadville and Conneaut Lake, home of the Super Sub, says, go get 'em Gators. Digital Music Express. DMX does for your stereo what cable does for your TV.
Mics, and go, Bill and Steve.
It'll be 8-9-1 batting alignment for Wooster here in the 3rd inning. We played 2 full, and we have no score. Mark McKinney, Jim Warga, and John Tomlinson will come to the plate for Wooster here in the 3rd inning. Each club with 1 base hit, but obviously to this point, neither able to dent the scoreboard. Steve, thoughts on a very productive season to this point for the Allegheny Gators and where it will lead them come postseason time?
Well, right now Allegheny ranked number 11 in Division III in the top 30 poll. However, the ranking that's really important for Allegheny, and which is one that most fans don't see on a regular basis, are the regional rankings. NCAA ranks Division III by regions, and right now Allegheny stands 2nd in the Mid-East region, and that is what is important for consideration for advancing to NCAA postseason play. So the Gators in good shape to advance into that.
This is catcher Mark McKinney. The first pitch is taken for ball 1. McKinney hitting .297. He's got 3 home runs to go with 22 runs batted in. And he drives that one into left center field on the chase as Gaeta won't be able to catch it. That drops in for a single, and Wooster getting their leadoff man on to start the 3rd inning. Second base hit of the game for Wooster. And with that, they will send second baseman Jim Warga to the plate.
Number 4,
See right now, Steve, if
Jim Warga.
Wooster, with the first serious threat of this contest, meaning getting the leadoff man on, we'll see if Warga comes up in a sacrifice situation. He is hitting .419 on the season, but has a chance to at least move McKinney up 90 feet. Allegheny thinking that way, pinching in at third. The first pitch, though, is taken for a called strike by Warga, not showing bunt at all. Joe Rine is holding McKinney on at first.
Warga almost sneaking into the bottom of the Wooster lineup. He stands right now 5th in the entire North Coast Athletic Conference in batting.
At .419. The 0-1 is up high. Evens it at 1-1. Third baseman Steve Cook on the grass as Rine continues to hold his man on in Mark McKinney at first base. 1-1 by Nelson. That is perfect in there for a called strike. It's 1-2. See right now Steve Nelson mixing up with the off-speed and the heater, catching Warga off guard. He's watched 3 pitches go by, is yet to show bunt, and is yet to swing. That pushes Cook back at third, and the 1-2 is up high, 2-2. Allegheny a chance now to basically play, as you see, a set defense. Infielders are at double play depth at second and short. Cook behind the bag at third. 2-2 the count. McKinney leads from first. Nelson the sign, the stretch, and the pitch in the dirt, ball 3. And the count now goes full to Jim Warga. Warga, a good eye this season, second on the club in drawing the base on balls with 14. And he was 0 of 6 in the doubleheader yesterday. Full count for Chris Nelson. Nobody out, man on first. McKinney not running. And pitch is swung on and missed, then a snap throw to first. McKinney back safely. But importantly for Allegheny, they get the first out of the inning as Chris Nelson gets Jim Warga to go down swinging. And with 1 on and 1 out, that brings up John Tomlinson in the top of the Wooster order.
Well, as you heard Rick Crean say in our pregame interview, he wanted Chris Nelson to come out and start pitching in the first as if it were the 3rd inning. And it appears Chris has done that. He has not faltered a minute here in the early going.
Tomlinson takes the first pitch outside for ball 1.
That's something Allegheny did have a problem with yesterday. Pat Broadwater yesterday gave up 3 runs in the early innings in the second game. So certainly Rick Crean didn't want that to happen again today. Chris Nelson has done the job thus far.
The 1-0 to Tomlinson, swung on and lined into the mid of second baseman Joe Pass, who doubles the man Mark McKinney off at first base. So a fine defensive play to end the 3rd inning by second baseman Joe Pass, who climbs the ladder to end the Wooster threat. We play 2.5. It's Wooster nothing, Allegheny nothing. You're watching Allegheny College Baseball on CTV 13.
Representing the minor league Hayfield Royals is Ben Schlosser.
Today's game is brought to you by Mellon Bank. You're why we do our very best. WMGW 1490 AM, Crawford County's Sports Authority. Palmero Toyota. We love what you do for us, Allegheny. Perkins Family Restaurant, serving 11 delicious entrees for Mother's Day, noon to 8. And by Guardian Protection Services. Protect your home and family with the First Alert Home Security System from Guardian.
Mike saying go, Bill, Steve.
As we saw in the top of the 3rd inning with Wooster, 8, 9, and 1 to start the bottom half of the frame here for Allegheny. As some of the Gator faithful watching on this afternoon. We have no score bottom of the 3rd inning. Craig Malagese, Greg Reinhart, and Mike Penn due up for the Gators in this inning to face Scott pitcher Nick Donatelli.
Right fielder Craig Malagese.
Donatelli has looked sharp early. Through 2 innings, compiled 3 strikeouts, yielding only a 2-out double to Joe Vastola in the first frame. Facing Craig Malagese here to open the bottom of the 3rd inning, and there's a ball outside. Malagese, 6'2", 200-pound sophomore.